brushed and washed.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to Sky Yoga. I am Stephanie, also known as Madame Turner to many in the Colorado Academy community. This will be an hour-long practice with about the first third for warming up, the second third for conditioning of the core, back, and upper body, and then some stretches at the end. So let's get started by finding a comfortable seated position, lifting up your back so that your torso is straight, upright. Sitting is difficult for you, maybe you can use a rolled up towel under your hips to support you. Let your hands relax, either on your knees or in your lap. Let your shoulders relax. And begin to pay attention to your breath. I'm slowing mine down after our little tech mishap. So just observe your breath. And what happens when we breathe intentionally is it usually gets deeper and slower. Let that happen. And then we're going to try to breathe even deeper. So fill your lungs and feel your rib cage expanding, not just in your chest, but also in your back. Feel your whole rib cage expanding like a barrel. And then just exhale naturally. And then we're going to try inhaling fully and then exhaling one count longer. So count your inhale and make your exhale one count longer.
Maybe you should just leave it now since we're halfway.
While you're doing that, I'll mute everyone, which I forgot to do. All right. And now we're going to convert those long, deep inhales and exhales into cleansing breaths, nice and active. So inhale fully, and then exhale with force through your mouth. Tongue out is optional. Inhale fully, exhale with force through your mouth. And just do those a few more times at your own pace. Wonderful. We've got the lungs all warmed up, air flowing through the body. Now let's start stretching. Drop your chin to your chest. You can just let your chin hang, or you can waggle your head side to side. We're stretching the back of the neck. And once that feels warmed up, you can roll your chin from shoulder to shoulder in a big half circle. And if that's feeling good, go ahead and roll your neck in a big full circle. But if you have any pain there, please go back to the half circle. If you're doing the full circle, change direction. And then sit up tall. The next thing we'll do is some neck and shoulder stretches. Take your thumbs up, your back as high as they'll go, and gently press your shoulders and elbows backward. And then reach and see if you can grab your elbows. If not, that's fine. Go back to thumbs up. Just gently feeling the stretch in your shoulders. and then release. We'll place your right hand on your low back and then grab your right wrist with your left hand and let your left ear drift downward. So we're making a big C shape from your right side of your neck down through your shoulder. Try to keep your torso upright. So no big lean, keeping your torso upright. Your arm can be bent like mine or straight. Keep breathing. And then we'll switch. So placing your left hand on your low back, grab it with your right hand, sit up straight and tilt the right ear down. And shake that out. All right, now we'll do some shoulder rolls. So inhale your shoulders up and exhale them down. And then we'll change direction, but still inhaling up and exhaling down. And then we'll inhale the shoulders up around your ears, anxious pose, right? And then exhale, release. One more. Good job. Okay, shake that out. And now we'll open the arms wide with fingers spread and then inhale up towards the ceiling. And exhale, releasing hands down. Inhale up. And exhale, release. One more time. And exhale, release. This time we'll inhale up and join your palms at the top. Interlace your fingers and turn your palms toward the ceiling. And we'll just pause here and rotate the torso. Stretching your waist, your mid-back. And on your next exhale, drop one hand to the floor and side bend. Try to keep your torso facing forward and don't hunch forward. Feeling the bend in the upper side. And on your next inhale, come up high, stretch, and exhale the other way. And then we'll inhale up, big breath, pressing the backs of your hands toward each other, thumbs up, puffing out your chest. This is called robin's breast. And then wrap yourself in a big hug, pulling your shoulder blades forward. Relax your lower body. Open the arms wide again, and with your next exhale, bring one arm across. You're going to hook the other arm underneath it. Relax both arms. We're stretching the upper part of the extended arm. Keep breathing. We might hold a pose, but we never hold our breath. And then with an inhale, open wide again. And exhale the other arm across. And release. I'm going to scoot a little closer so maybe you can see my arms better. Okay, learning how to do this framing thing. We're going to inhale up again. And then exhale, bringing one hand down between your shoulder blades and grab the other elbow. So we're doing a tricep stretch. If you're really flexible, you can do the cow face pose here. You would leave that elbow up, bring the other arm behind and try to touch fingertips behind your back. That's really tough on the shoulder of the arm that's going down. So I'm not going to do it right now. Breathe. Release, roll your shoulders a little, especially if you were doing the cow face variation. That's really tough on your shoulder. So I'm going to create a little more space here. See if we can get the shoulder in. All right, and then inhale up again. Exhale the other hand down. Grab your elbow and pull. Or try the cow face variation, bringing the other arm below. And release, shake it out. We're gonna make our way to hands and knees now and continue warming up and doing some cats and cows. So on your hands and knees in a neutral tabletop position, we're gonna exhale, arching the back up into cat pose. Exhale fully as you push back onto your heels. And then bend your elbows and scoop forward, lifting your hips into cow. So these are rolling cats and cows. And we're just going to continue going through them at your own pace. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Good, and then come back up to center and we'll do horse pose. So from your tabletop position, we're going to keep the thighs upright. The tendency here is to kind of lean to one side. Try to stay upright. We're going to look over one shoulder at your hips. So the only thing flexing is your back. And breathe. Inhale to front. And then exhale the other way, looking over your shoulders at your hips. Breathe. Inhale back to center and just wag your tail like a happy dog. Loosening up the low back and the hips. Very nice. Okay, next we'll do thread the needle, a shoulder stretch. So inhale your right arm high. Exhale it down to the mat. So you're lying on your right shoulder, resting on your head. If you can't quite get down that far, maybe put that rolled up towel under your head or your shoulder. Bring your hands palm to palm, and then slide your left arm out as far as it will go. Really reach that left arm out. Trying to get your left elbow to touch your right wrist. And then with an exhale, bring that arm around behind you. And it lands where it lands. It lands on your low back or your thigh or whatever. And then we're going to roll your right forearm along the floor. Keep breathing. Feeling the really different stretches happening in your shoulders. And then unwind that top arm. Bring your palm flat to the mat to push up and inhale your right arm high. Exhale it down and we'll switch sides. So inhale the left arm high. Exhale it down to the mat or whatever prop you're using. Rest your head. Hands begin palm to palm. And then the right hand slides out. Maybe walk your fingertips out as far as you can go. And with an exhale, wrap that arm around your back. And roll your left arm on the floor. Again, checking in with your shoulders to see what kind of a stretch you feel. And then unwind. Hand to the mat to press up. Inhale the left arm high. And exhale it down. Good. We're setting up next for kickstand, which is a stretch for the legs. So starting from hands and knees, We're going to extend your right leg straight back with a flexed foot and then swing it around next to you. So it's roughly at the same level as your knee. And then we're going to relax backward into a modified child's pose, sitting on your heels if you're able. If you're not able to get down to your forearms on the floor, put a blanket, a bolster, a sofa cushion, whatever, underneath your forearms. Relax that extended leg and reach out for your ankle. You can let your head hang here if that's comfortable. You could also rest your head on your fist or your prop. Let your legs relax. And then if you're able, maybe you can reach your toes. If you can't, that's okay. Just keep reaching for your ankle. But if you've got your toes, then relax your ankle and pull towards your face, and you'll feel more of a stretch in your calf. And then release and make your way back to tabletop. Maybe wag your tail if that would feel good. And we'll do the other side. So extending your left leg straight back with a flexed foot, swing it out to your side, and then ease back, sitting on your heel, resting your forearms on the floor or your prop. Relax the extended leg and reach for your ankle. And again, you might want to try reaching for your toes. One side may be easier than the other. It's perfectly normal to be asymmetrical. If you've got your toes in hand, relax your ankle. Release, make your way slowly back to tabletop. And this is my very favorite part of the warm-up. It's called Sufi rolls, but I've renamed it Drunken Cow. So we're going to be on our hands and knees and just spin around. Spin your whole torso in big circles. Come way forward, push way back. Checking in with your body for any places that might be tight and need a little extra care today. And when you've gone several times one direction, change directions. Always go both ways, unless you want to leave class crooked. All right, and when you feel nice and loose, a little OCD about the carpet here, we're gonna get it straight. All right, when you feel nice and loose, we are gonna swing forward into an ab stretch. So that can be like this, up dog with your arms straight. If this is rough on your low back, come down on your elbows. Either way, we're gonna gently sway your torso, feeling the stretch in your abs. And then we'll conclude the warm-up by pushing back into child's pose. So your knees go wide, your big toes touch, your arms reach straight out in front. And then come back up to tabletop. We'll start with some core conditioning. And just a word of, I guess, a disclaimer here. Each exercise that I do will build on the one before. So if you find yourself in pain, stop. Do not do anything painful. That's not the goal of yoga. If you find yourself unable to do the exercise that I'm leading, go back and do something you did successfully. You can also modify. A lot of these poses will involve one arm, one leg. You can just focus on the arm or just the leg. So respect your body and where it's at today, and don't push yourself too hard, please. All right, so we're gonna come into tabletop, And now that we're actually doing some exercises, we need to check our posture. So make sure that your shoulder is over your elbows, over your wrist, and your hips are over your knees. Everything's at nice 90 degrees. Your knees are about as wide apart as your hands. We're going to extend your left leg straight back with a flexed foot. And see how my left hip wants to go high? I'm going to bring it down level with the right hip, engaging the abs, and then lift the right arm. This is pointer pose, and we'll take 5 deep breaths. And now we're going to bend the extended leg towards your body and reach around to grab your foot. If you've got your foot, lift your knee. If you don't have your foot, you have a goal. Stretch that quad. And come on down. Anytime you're in hands and knees and you need back relief, just wag your tail. Also, if you start to feel your knees are getting too much pressure or your wrists, put something under them. Put a rolled up blanket, a rolled up towel under your knees or wrists for support. So we'll switch sides now, kicking back the right leg, leveling off the hips, and lifting the left arm. 5 long breaths. And then bending the leg towards your body, reach for your foot and lift. And release down. Nicely done. So the next exercise is a variation on pointer called pendulum. It's going to involve a little more hip strength. So extend your left leg straight back, lift your right arm, and we're going to inhale and swing both limbs out to the side. Exhale them back to center. Inhale, side. Exhale, center. In. 3. In. 4. In. Last one. Come down. Good job. We'll switch sides now. Right leg, left arm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3. 4. And 5. Good job. Let's push back into child's pose for a quick rest. And come up again. We'll add on to that with boxes. So for boxes, we come into our basic pointer pose. Left leg, right arm. And we're going to hit the wall there. Okay, left leg, right arm. And we're going to draw boxes. So both limbs go out, down, in, and up. It's not a huge movement. Out, down, in, up. 2, out, down, in. 3, 4, 5, halfway there. Out, down, in. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Good job. Come down, wag your tail. We'll do the other side. Right leg, left arm, drawing boxes. So this is one of those exercises where if you're feeling like, whoa, this is a bit much for me, just focus on your arm being straight and drawing boxes, or your leg staying straight and drawing boxes. So right leg, left arm, out, down, in, up, out, down, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, Last one. Woohoo. Good job. You can push back for a back break or pull forward for an ab break, whichever you need. All right, we'll do one more core pointer pose. It's called Firebird. It's a crunch. If you have knee issues and you're kind of tired of being on your knees, you can just come to your back and do classic bicycles instead of Firebird. So your choice. If you're doing Firebird, we're going to be from our hands and knees, left leg, right arm. On the exhale, bring elbow to knee. And on the inhale, reach long. We're going to do 5 slow and 5 fast. Reach. 3, 4, 5. Speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Switching sides. Right leg, left arm. On the exhale, reach. 2, 3, 4, 5. Speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Quick rest pose. Come down to your belly, and we're transitioning to adding in the upper body. We'll still be using our core, but we'll be using the arms more. So resting on your elbows, again, stack your joints, shoulders over elbows. You can clasp your hands or leave them parallel. We're going to rise up on the balls of the feet and lift into low plank. Notice how my hips aren't high, they're level. Breathe. And drop down for a quick rest. Let your abs hang and be soft. We're going to come back up into low plank again. If low plank is a challenge for you, just stay in low plank. Count your breaths. Have a goal. If you're ready for a challenge, we're going to do saw, which is coming up into low plank, and then saw forward and back by flexing your ankles. Hips stay down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more and relax. Good job. Come all the way down. Anytime you're on your belly and need low back relief, just swirl your lower legs around. Make sure to go both directions. All right. Next exercise is for the triceps. It's yoga push-ups. Place your hands outside your chest so that your elbows are straight up and down like grasshopper wings. Legs are parallel, so not splayed out. We're going to lift up, basically into up dog with straight arms. If you want to make this harder, you can lift your knees off the floor, and then we'll come down. The goal here is to keep your elbows straight up and down and not splayed out to the side. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, last one. Let's come into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch, arms stretch out in front, and then bring your palms to the back of your neck for a tricep stretch. And then stretch out and come back up to tabletop, we'll be coming into high plank now. I do low plank first because it's harder, so get it out of the way. So from tabletop, stacked joints, kick back one leg and then the other, and bring your hips in line, not high, not low, right in the middle, and breathe. And then drop your knees for quick rest. It's getting warm in here. And now we'll add on to high plank. So if high plank was challenging for you, just do high plank again. Choose a goal number of breaths, 3 or 4 or 5. If you're ready for a challenge, we're going to come into high plank, hips in the middle, drop your knees and lift. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Good job. Drop the knees, push back. Woo. All right, let's sit back on our heels and do the forearm stretch before side plank. So bringing your palms out in front of you, facing away from you. We're going to come down, resting on the palms with the hands on the floor. Feel the stretch throughout your forearm and wrist. You can stay here or you can make little circles. Be gentle, your elbows are inside out, they're not used to that. If you're making circles, change direction. And sit back and shake it out. Good. Okay, we'll do one more exercise for the arms. This is side plank. So you have 2 options here for getting into side plank. The easier supported option is from tabletop. Let's say you were starting with the right hand supporting, your right knee supporting, and then you extend your left leg and lift your left arm high. That is supported side plank. If this feels good to you, kick your right foot back at an angle and lift your left leg. You'll feel the strength in the hip. And your goal would be to stay up for 3 or 4 breaths. If you're doing the harder version, you would start from high plank, hips in the middle, move your supporting hand, your right hand under your face, and then pivot up into side plank. And if you get here and you're feeling good and strong, you can also lift your upper leg. So find your plank and stay here at least 3 breaths. I lost my balance. And let yourself down gently. Nice. We'll do the other side. So pick your starting position, either tabletop or high plank. Center your supporting hand. Pivot, stacking your feet. And then maybe challenge yourself to lift the upper leg. And let yourself down. Nice and gentle. Ooh, I need a water break. All right, so we'll come down to the belly now for back strengtheners. Lying down on your belly with your legs parallel, not splayed out. If you have any back injury, you should rest the tops of your hands on your low back, between your buttocks and your rib cage. These are the muscles we're focusing on. If you're stronger, your arms can be out at your side like airplane wings. We're going to focus first on the upper body, inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhale up, exhale down. In 3, in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Last one. Relax, and maybe you want to swirl your lower legs around. We're going to add in the low body now. This is one of those times when you can focus on just part of the exercise. If you're just focusing on the low body, then keep your legs straight and get your knees off the mat. If you're doing both, of course, we're going to inhale everything up and exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale 2. In 3, in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For this last one, stay up, breathe, and release down. Very nice. All right. For this last exercise, swimming, you want to make sure your feet are on something pleasant, so not hardwood, but your mat or your carpet or whatever. So bring your arms out in front of you like you're swimming, where everybody can see something. All right, we're going to lift the left arm and right leg and then switch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good job. Let's push back into child's pose. You have the option to add the tricep stretch. We're going to swing around to seated for boat pose and the next few two more core exercises. So take a minute to catch your breath, have a drink of water. In boat pose, we balance our rear end with the feet off the floor. If this is new or difficult for you, have something under your feet so you can briefly rest and lift and rest and lift, building up your core strength. If you're strong or you've been doing this a while, hopefully they go together, right? Lift up your shins parallel to the floor. We're going to pause here a moment. Breathe. Try to have your back as straight as possible. And then we're going to row the boat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Feet on the floor. Hug your knees, lift your back, look over your shoulders. Boom. And you did it. You made it through the conditioning part. And now it's all stretches from here on out. So let's lie on the back and stretch the back. Lying down, hug your knees and rock side to side. I recommend keeping your feet side by side throughout these stretches and not crossing them. It's just going to improve the symmetry of your stretch. And now place your hands on your knees and we're going to guide your knees in big circles. They stay together. Your arms pull them in, your arms push them out. And what we feel is our low back flexing off the mat and flattening down to the mat. And then change direction. Hug your knees in again, and now we're going to lift the feet up so that they're parallel to the ceiling and grab your feet. Maybe you have to grab your ankles or shins, that's fine. Grab something. Open the feet wide and rock side to side in happy baby. And if you're strong, you can get your thigh to the floor and come back up again. If you can't do that, you have a goal. So we've shifted the back stretch and massage up to the mid back from the low back. And now pause in the center, bring the soles of your feet together for reclined Baddha Konasana. And just pause here. You can shift your grip up higher if you need to. Pulling your feet in close and relaxing your lower back. Letting your knees relax down. And then we're going to keep the soles of the feet together, but let them go to rest on the ground. And feel the stretch in your inner thighs. You can rock on your pelvis here if that feels nice. And now you bring your knees back together, feet flat on the floor, close to your body. And we'll do figure 4 stretch, AKA reclined pigeon. Rest your, let's start with the right ankle resting on your left knee. Use your right hand to push your right knee away, opening up the hip joint. And then release. We're going to reach around your leg, your left leg. You can either grab the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin. It kind of depends on how long your arms are and how flexible you are. Relax your upper body down and relax your legs. You should be feeling a big stretch in the right hips, outer hips, piriformis muscle, all that good stuff in the back of your right leg and side of your hip. Breathe and keep gently pulling your legs towards you. Relax all the muscles in your lower body. And now we'll release your shins so your left foot comes to the floor. And we're going to roll to the left so that the sole of your right foot comes to the floor. And now we're kind of like a pretzel here. And we're twisting the right leg toward us using the pressure of the left knee. So you can push your right knee away if you want. And feel that stretch opening up the front of the hips and the back of the right side. It's awkward, but try to relax into it. And then we'll roll back to center and lift up your right foot and maybe rotate it around if your ankle's a little stiff. And bring the right foot to the floor and your left foot rests on your right knee. Left hand pushes your left knee away, opening up the left hip joint. And then we reach around the right thigh or the right shin, whichever you can reach. And again, you may be different on one side versus the other, and that's perfectly fine. Relax back, relax your lower body. You may not have to pull. This may already be quite a reach for you. But if you can, gently pull your legs in closer, feeling the stretch now in your left hip. And now release that right foot down. And now we're going to roll to the right so that your left sole touches the floor. We're getting a bit of a twist in the back, but mostly a stretch in the outer left hip. Again, try to relax your legs. You can push that knee away. And then we'll roll back up. Lift your left foot and rotate your ankle. or revolve. I can never keep it straight. All right, let's bring both feet to the floor, about hip width apart. And we're just going to do some reclined windshield wipers. We do these a lot sitting up if you're in my class, but it's fun to do them reclined every once in a while. It's a nice gentle twist. And then bring your feet in close to your body for bridge pose. So arms at your sides, we're going to lift the hips up high for bridge. Squeeze your shoulders together, squeeze your arms toward each other, lifting your rib cage off the floor. And breathe. If your ankles are straight under your knees, like I just corrected my posture, you can get your hips a little higher. And now we're going to release the arms out and roll your back down as slowly as you can. So upper back, mid back, low back, tailbone. And once you're all the way down, hug your knees in and rock. And we'll roll to one side and push up to seated. Great time for a water break if you need one. All right, let's come to Baddha Konasana. We did this reclined and now we'll do it seated, also known as cobbler's pose, butterfly pose, bound angle. So we're pulling the feet in close to the body, but don't hunch into it. We will do a forward bend, but not yet. Lift up your spine and your chest. This is a heart opening pose. Pressing your knees down gently. Maybe rocking your pelvis or flapping your butterfly wings. And then to further intensify this, we're going to take the thumbs and open up the balls of the feet like a book. And you'll feel that intensify the stretch in your inner thighs. And the next stretch we're going to do is for the back, and I'll change position so you can see a little better. We're going to push the heels out so that your legs form a diamond shape. We're going to bring the hands under your calves to rest on the tops of your feet. And then let your head hang. This is a forward bend. You're probably feeling the stretch in your outer hips. Let your upper body just hang and take your attention to your spine. So travel your focus, I just verbed that. Take your focus on a trip from the nape of your neck down, down, down your spine to your tailbone. Softening as you go. And when your attention reaches your tailbone, relax everything in the pelvic area. This is a place where we tend to hold tension. Let it go. And now you might be feeling a little softer. See if you can choose one of these two goals, either pressing your elbows closer to the mat or pulling your face closer to your feet. But whatever you do, make it gentle, tiny, tiny movements. Your low back is getting a good stretch here, but it's also vulnerable. So we're gently pulling upper and lower body together to the edge of your comfort zone, not into the pain zone. And then slowly unwind. That was a pretty intense forward bend, so we're going to counter that with a back bend. Place your hands behind you, stretch your legs out in front, point your toes, stretch your toes, flex your ankles, and then lift up into reverse plank. You have the option to drop your head here. And slowly lower down. And I always get a nice sinus clearance there. Okay, We're going to come to cross-legged. We started a little late, so I'm going to go until about 10:10. If you need to leave early, c'est la vie, just leave the meeting and I wish you well. So we're going to keep going for about 10 more minutes. So 5 more minutes of stretches and then we'll do Shavasana. So coming to cross-legged, place your hands behind you again, just like we did for reverse plank, and lift your hips high. Think about your knees rolling forward. And again, you have that option to drop your head, but don't do it if it makes you dizzy. I'm feeling a real stretch in the quads. Really squeeze your glutes and push your hips high. And we'll slowly come down. And now we have to do that again the weird way. So we all have a way that we automatically cross our legs. Cross your legs the other way. It's going to feel weird. Place your hands behind you and lift the hips high again. Think about rolling your knees forward, lifting, arching, option to drop your head. Breathe. And lower down. Nice. Okay. And we'll do another stretch for the legs. So extend your right leg out. This is a 3-part stretch for the hamstrings primarily. So first we just extend one leg and reach. That's all. No particular pose to be in. Just grabbing the furthest point that you can, whether it's your shin, your ankle, or your foot. And relaxing that extended leg. And then we add in a side bend with the opposite arm. And then we rotate the torso to face the foot and bring your hands together, or maybe your hand to your arm, whatever you can reach. If you do have your toes in hand, relax your ankle and pull your toes back for calf stretch. See if you can relax that leg and feel the stretch through your calf and your hamstring. And then we'll fold that leg in and extend the other leg. And again, breaking it down. First, we just reach out and grab the furthest thing. And then we add the side bend. And then you rotate your torso towards your foot, face your foot, bring your arms or hands together in whatever way works for you. Relax the back of your leg. And if you have your toes in hand, relax your ankle to get a full calf stretch as well. You can gently bend your elbows a little more to deepen this stretch. And release, sitting slowly up. We'll come down on our back and do John's stretch. John's probably my oldest, most faithful yoga student, so he has a pose named after him. We're going to lie down on the back. You might just want to rock side to side a bit here or hug your knees to get your back used to the idea of lying down again. All right, and then we lift the knees so that they're straight over your hips. Your feet are just dangling, they're not up in the air. So knees over the hips, arms teed out. We're going to drop the knees to your right side. Place your right hand on your knees to hold them down. And then look away from your knees over your left shoulder. This is a very gentle full back twist. And then before we roll back to center, I want you to engage your abs to protect your back. So using your abs, pull your knees up and rock. Anytime you twist, you need to untwist. My poor students could recite that with me if they could speak right now, as I say it all the time. All right, and then we will switch sides. So lifting your knees straight up over your hips, feet are dangling, arms are teed out. Drop the knees to the left. Left hand holds them down, and you look away over your right shoulder. And then again, before you lift your knees, engage your abs, pull your knees in and rock. And guess what? You made it to Shavasana. Good job. So extend your legs. Arms are typically out at your sides, palms up, and relax everything. This is the pose that acts like a sponge. It allows your body to soak up the benefit of everything you just did. If your low back is not happy about lying flat like this with your legs extended, you can lift your knees up and let them collapse inward toward each other like this, the semi-supine position. Or you can place something under your knees, one of those sofa cushions again. So get into whatever position works for you for Shavasana. And begin to relax from head to toe. Relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Let your eyebrows relax. Let your eyes relax. Relax your jaw. And relax your tongue. Let your whole face be soft. Relax your neck and relax your throat. Let your shoulders sink back into the mat. Let your rib cage melt into the mat. Let your navel sink down towards your spine. And let your pelvis relax into the mat. Feel how your whole torso is soft. And now we'll let that feeling flow through your limbs, through your upper arms, elbows, forearms, and wrists, through your soft open palms to the tips of your fingers. Your arms are soft. And finally, let that feeling flow down your legs, through your thighs and knees, your calves and ankles, through the arches of your feet to the tips of your toes. Your legs are soft. And all you have to do for the next couple of minutes is just breathe. Let your breath be natural, and let your thoughts float away like clouds in the sky. Begin to deepen your breath, breathing through your limbs into fingers and toes, letting them wiggle back to life. Expanding those movements to your wrists, ankles, and neck. Rolling them side to side. And then taking whatever stretch or pose will help your back transition back into your day. You might feel like bringing your knees to your chest or taking a long, full body stretch. And when you're ready, roll to your right side in the supported fetal position, resting your head on your arm. Jane recently pointed out to me the symbolism of moving from corpse pose into fetal position, right? It signifies a rebirth. And one thing that we're traditionally asked to meditate on in this position is new beginnings. And what I hope is that you have discovered something during this time of isolation that you will take forward into your regular life when this ends. Maybe you have discovered a closer way to live as a family, or maybe you have discovered a slower way of life. So think of something positive you'd like to take forward with you when we get back to normal. And when you're ready, push up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. So I'm stopping the recording.